A seismic ripple rocks both the courts and communities as newly surfaced details paint a chilling portrait of violence and shattered trust involving Darrell Armstrong, as since coach for the Dallas Mavericks, accused of assaulting his girlfriend with a firearm in a harrowing incident last weekend. This revelation not only threatens to reshape the franchise's image, but ignites an urgent discourse around systemic issues of abuse and accountability in the world of sports. Tonight, we delve into the heart of this storm that has stirred the pot of public sentiment and raised swords of scrutiny against those who failed to shield the vulnerable. Flashback to February 15, 2024, just after the witching hour, when Dallas police were summoned to an apartment along the 1000 block of Ross Avenue. What transpired within those walls now echoes through the chambers of accountability. The struggle wasn't only intimate but emblematic of a much larger issue. Armstrong, a figure admired on the court, found himself entangled in a violent confrontation with a woman identified as his girlfriend. Drunk on intoxication and rage, he allegedly struck her with a weapon during a turbulent dispute that arose after a provocative text found its way into his hands. In this moment of darkness, the game of life devolved into a stage, fraught with peril. The aftermath unveiled a pattern often swept under the rug within professional teams, where celebrity and aggression sometimes collide with disastrous effects, and the stepping stones to the courtroom become treacherous battlegrounds that many never visualize until too late. New details emerge from the investigative depths that further complicate this narrative. A conflict archaeologist piecing together shattered remains of this personal catastrophe reveals multiple facets of the incident that have yet to arrive at the public's consciousness. Dallas Fire Rescue confirmed that medical treatment was rendered at the scene, hinting at the physical impact violence has carved into reality. A source within the Mavericks hierarchy, opting for discretion amid this firestorm, emphasized that the franchise had promptly placed Armstrong on administrative suspension while they navigate the legal labyrinth that now surrounds their employee. Holding our breath, we question whether the walls of silence will hold back a torrent of accountability or crumble under the weight of truth. As tension mounts, various stakeholders offer insights unfurling the layers of this complicated narrative. What does it mean when an admired figure becomes a harbinger of violence? How does one reconcile admiration with deeply disturbing actions? Those are questions posed by Darius Albright, a social justice analyst specializing in domestic violence in sports, who asserts the tragic irony of fandom. Why should a celebrated athlete, applauded for excellence, shatter the lives of those closest to him? This juxtaposition between heroism and betrayal defines the discourse surrounding Armstrong. He whispers courage in the face of overcame adversity in public, but roars in power when alone. This paradox raises claims of complicity from a league steered by its own set of intricate ethics and moral quandaries, louder than any contemporary voice. Luka Doncic, a beacon of youthful potential within the Mavericks, showcases spontaneous vulnerability, as his sweet moment with a fan battling epilepsy stands in stark contrast to the dark reality unfolding within the team's ranks. Is it not haunting to consider how this violence affects the emotional fabric woven into the Mavericks culture, a tapestry now teetering on the edge between innocence and apprehension? The moral quandary here resonates. Will management's commitment truly extend beyond sterile statements and place real emphasis on safeguarding their community? Can cultural legacies survive when marred by unthinkable actions? These alarming developments cast sprawling ripples across the landscape of sports, and we ponder, can this incident be an isolated tremor, or a symptom of a broader malady infiltrating pro athletics? Is it within our ethical grasp to expect sports franchises not only to excel in performance, but also to emerge as fortresses against such disgrace? Essentially, we find ourselves grappling with the omnipresent question: how can we ensure a protective shield is established where no one is made to feel small in the shadow of their heroes? It beckons us to scrutinize systems that facilitate the very violence they claim to stand against. As we drift further toward the close of our exploration, a suffocating intrigue envelops this narrative. Lawyers emerge from the ether as Armstrong's managing partner, Larry Taylor, steps forth proclaiming readiness to launch an independent inquiry, a move signaling that enlightenment may soon seep through the cracks. But will it be enough to repair an image so severely damaged? Is the truth often hiding behind veils of misconception, or is it the case that we find ourselves peering into an abyss of shattered lives that cuts deeper than just the headlines? This choice, as troubling as it is, forces us to acknowledge the greater campaign long overdue, in advocating for the safety of individuals within every circle of public life. As a clarion call for accountability rises, one persistent thought remains: how will the Mavericks gauge their next steps in advancing this narrative? And when the final whistle blows, whose silence will echo far louder than the judgment of the court? While we stand on the precipice waiting for the next note in this unfolding saga, one question hovers, tantalizing and haunting, as the clock ticks toward the next chapter. What uncharted decisions await, and how will they transform the very fabric of this beleaguered community?